I'm Andy Wiedlin. I'm SVP of Sales at the Huffington Post. And for the last couple of years, we've been having a blast pioneering this idea of social news. And the concept is, instead of just reading the newspaper, you can read it, you can comment on it, you can blog, you can share it. And it's really fun. We grew traffic 200% in the last year, so we're up to 30 million uniques. We tripled revenue last year, and a couple months ago we got bought by AOL, but that's another story. But the thing that gets me so excited about social is what Tom Erickson was talking about, this idea of sharing. And I think it's a really powerful concept, word of mouth. And it gets us out of this current digital ecosystem that is, to me, it's a failed model. And I had one slide that I was going to show you, but all of you have seen it, I'm sure. I call it the Armageddon slide, or the migraine slide, or the fetid swamp of digital media slide. And what it is it starts off really beautifully, really easy. It says you have an advertiser, and then you have a publisher, and then you have an audience. Real simple model, works great. But then as we overcomplicate things, you put in digital agencies and networks and DSPs and ad optimization platforms, and you get thousands and thousands of people in this digital ecosystem trying to make a buck on declining CPMs. And it's a nightmare, and we're all living it. And to me, social has the opportunity to break all that. And something needs to break it because it's not going to work for two reasons. The first is there's just too much supply and not enough demand. And the second reason is consumers are kind of fed up, and they're distrustful, and they're disillusioned. And when was the last time you clicked on a banner ad? When was the last time you trusted an offer, even an institution? So, is this an uplifting speech? Does everybody like feel like no, but to me, that's what social has the potential to change all that, because as Tom was saying, it's word of mouth marketing. It's hearing from people you really want to hear from. You don't have to put up those banner blindness. You can actually reach out and you want to hear from people. And to me, that's an exciting time. And if you're a marketer, the possibilities are kind of limitless. Maybe you power this word of mouth marketing, or maybe you somehow enrich it, or maybe you realize that in this sort of social sphere there are people that are more valuable than others, and there's social informants that glom onto web trends, and they share things quickly, and they're influential, and they're affluent, and they're connected, and maybe you can build a marketing strategy around them rather than the entire population. Or maybe if you're a brand and you think you're a love brand, maybe you can actually become friends and have one-to-one relationships with people. So to me, it's very exciting, and it gets us out of this game. And I always think of like traditional digital marketing, and CPMs are going like this, and advertisers are pissed, and consumers are pissed, and it reminds me of like a guy that like jumps off the Empire State Building, and as he falls from floor to floor, he's like, okay, so far, okay, so far, okay, so far, and it's not going to be okay. So that's why I think social has the ability to change all that, and I'm really excited about the possibility.
There it is. So I used to work not too far from here. I actually worked in Midtown, and I had this habit that every single day when I was in the office, I would go downstairs, I would go out of the elevator, walk through my lobby, go through the revolving doors. Like anybody who lives in New York City, I would go right up to traffic, and I would play Frogger and try to get across the street. Then I would go directly across the street to this other office building, go through those revolving doors, and then I would book it straight across the lobby, because on the other end of that lobby, there was this awesome restaurant I used to go to every single day called Pergola. And I would sign in the back door, and I would go straight for the sandwich line, because every single solitary day, I got the same thing. I got this wonderful sandwich called the California. Now, the California, smoked turkey, avocado, cucumbers, plum, tomatoes, sprouts, Swiss cheese, and ranch dressing on 7-grain bread for $6.50, and it came with a Coke. Okay, so why would you not get that sandwich? So this is one of those places like Vegas. If I turned to the left, there was sushi. If I turned to the right, there was brisket. If I turned around, there was a salad bar. Even in the back corner, go ahead, Elizabeth, there was this awesome Mongolian barbecue. Okay? Not to mention, there was also 17,000 other sandwiches that I could choose from. But every day, I chose the same sandwich. I chose the California. And look at that sandwich. Why would you not choose that sandwich every day? Now the question comes, is that if I were going to change my habit, and potentially try something different. Try something different in the restaurant, or try something different at one of the 10,000 restaurants that I could have gone to if I turned a different direction. What would that look like? If I backed all the way up, if I said, okay, I'm going to go back to the lobby, I'm going to go back to the beginning, and thought about what could potentially change my mind. So this time, when I was going through the revolving doors, that I considered maybe trying something different, something that maybe make me stop in my tracks and not go across the street, and potentially turn to the left. Or maybe, possibly, turn to the right. Okay. That consideration, that discovery of something new is what we do every day. Okay? Now, I just gave you the example of my lunch, but let's talk about brand advertising. Okay? So, go ahead. If I'm walking down the street, quick one more time, do I get my medications and my toothpaste here? Or maybe I should get my meds and my toothpaste over here. Okay? Do I get my shipping services here? Or should I get my shipping services, one more time, sorry, over here? I am presented with these choices every day. Do I get my cell phone here? Or should I get my cell phone here? And should I go across the street and get my kitchen and bath stuff over there, or should I just stay where I am because I could go in right here? Okay. Now, to change these options, you need incentive. If you give the right incentive, if you give the proper incentive, it also becomes social. It goes viral. Let me give you one example. If you think about Amazon, so one day, we ran an Amazon gift card, 10 for 20. In one day, we did 1.3 million gift cards. Okay? Now, if you think about that, look at the bottom, you'll see that there were 45,000 people that shared that on Facebook. 45,000. 7,300 tweeted about it. Okay? That accounted for all, my favorite one's the top left. If you can't see it, it says if you don't buy this, you're dumb. Did the same thing on Twitter, and you can go again. But the point about this is that all of that, I'm coming back to my sandwich, with all of that social sharing, 40%, 40, of that 1.3 million came from social sharing. Okay? Now, if you go back and you think about the sandwich, by the way, I showed you half the sandwich. I planned on taking a picture of the entire sandwich, but I got hungry and I forgot. But I took a picture of that sandwich because some habits are okay. You can reward habits. That's okay. If somebody comes to your store and I have all the options to go to get a different sandwich other places, and I choose to go back to you, once in a while, you can reward me. That's all right. And you can also create new habits. So the question really comes down to, which way do you turn?
So my name is Steve Patrizzi. I look after the advertising sales organization at LinkedIn. And we had some pretty good news about a month and a half ago. We recently crossed the 100 million member mark. There are now 100 million members who are part of LinkedIn. We're very excited about that. Thank you. I'd like to see a quick show of hands. How many people in this room received an email from our founder, Reid Hoffman? Anybody? Okay. Your hands are up. That's good. That's a good number. So for those of you whose hands went up, you know why you got it. For those whose hands did not go up, we sent an email out to the first 1 million members who joined LinkedIn as a thank you for helping us build a business and create this platform. And we send out quite a bit of email, reminding people of their updates, what's happening in their network. This, hands down, was one of the most successful emails we've ever sent. We had so much positive feedback. And we noticed on Twitter, people were very proud of their number. So in the email that you received, it would have your member number. And just for a fun little trivia, you can actually go to your own profile, and up in the URL, there will be a little ID equals, and that has your number. That's your number when you join the network. So people are pretty excited about it. They were bragging about it on Twitter. I bring it up because at the beginning we opened up this event saying that we want to make sure you guys have something to take back to the office. Saying thank you is a really good thing. Your customers really do appreciate it, and don't forget to do it. We have a very singular purpose at LinkedIn. We think about one thing, and that's it. And we wake up in the morning, and that's all we care about. We want to help professionals be more productive and successful. We want to help everyone accelerate their own career trajectory. And when you think about what is one of the biggest contributors someone's professional success, you can boil it down to decisions. Right? We make decisions about everything. We decide about strategies. We decide about priorities for our businesses. We decide about products we're going to sell. We make decisions about products that we're going to buy to run our businesses. And if you make a great decision, then your business does well, you get promoted, your career trajectory takes off. If you don't make a good decision, there's a slightly different outcome. But we think about what kind of software should we run our business on? What financial services institution will give us the benefits that will allow us to retain and attract the best in the business? And if you hire great people, your business will be very successful. The problem is that decision making is arguably harder than ever, in large part because we have unprecedented access to information. There's too much content now. It is staggering how much content there is. Newsweek had a cover story about a month ago talking about the fact that the human brain was not designed to process the amount of information it is being blasted with every single day. And technology is a big part of this. The social ecosystem is a big part of it, right? Content creation is incredibly inexpensive right now. Anybody can do it, and they are. And you see the numbers off the charts and the amount of sharing. And so it's become incredibly difficult now for decision makers to make decisions, to find the information that matters to them. And yet, your ability to make fast and smart decisions has an incredible amount of impact on your career trajectory. So at LinkedIn, that's what we're trying to do. We are trying to help connect the world's professionals so that you can look to other experts, look to other individuals, look to other professionals who can help you sift through the information and make a decision. And so ultimately, we create this environment where people are coming to LinkedIn to build relationships and make decisions. Find the information insights to help them make decisions. It might be about what company should I work for. It might be about should I hire this individual. It might be, again, should I bet the company on this software platform. And I know there's someone else who's made that decision somewhere in the world in a company just like mine who has made that decision and can probably help me decide whether I should do it too. And so the more we can connect these people, the better off they can manage their careers. Now, for them to build relationships, they have to supply a tremendous amount of data about themselves. Right? It's an introduction. Here's who I am. Here's why you should build a relationship with me. Here's what I do for a living. Here's my seniority level, my company size, my industry, my geography, all this information that I am now broadcasting out to the world. And that data really puts us in a data as a service type business where the more data people are putting in, the more value they're getting out of it. That's good for our members. It's also good for the marketers because that data can be used for incredibly precise targeting at massive scale, which in the business-to-business space really hasn't been available before. I spent 10 years at the Wall Street Journal, and when I was there, our circulation of 2 million was considered mass reach for business audiences, and now there's this global audience of 100 million. And by the way, 1 million join every week, so it's growing quite aggressively. The last item I would just mention is that there are a number of people in this industry who have created this myth that advertising or marketing in social platforms is really difficult, and you can't use any of the lessons you've learned before to apply here. You have to reinvent the playbook. You've got to start from scratch and recreate the wheel. And I'm here to say that's just simply not true. It's very, very easy. Most of the marketers that are getting a lot of value out of LinkedIn are running the same exact creative messages that they're running on other platforms. They're just applying that targeting I just mentioned that's available at massive scale. And they recognize that they're now in an environment where people are building relationships and making decisions. And for most B2B marketers, that's what you're trying to accomplish too, right? You want to build relationships with customers, and you want to help them make a decision to buy from you. And so I would be careful about that myth. There are a number of companies, again, that their revenue model depends on making you feel that this is more complex than it really is. It doesn't have to be. There are more things you can do. They'll require more investment, more resources, but it doesn't have to be that way. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Thank you.